guys, in today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my top 10 favorites from the brand Avene. You all are really enjoying this series where I share with you my top 10 picks from some major skincare brands. I have these all saved in a playlist, which I will link down below if you guys are interested. But Avene was a highly requested brand. I will group the products by cleanser, moisturizer, sunscreen, and then active ingredients. All right, number one product in the realm of cleansers, their oil-free gel cleanser. It's super gentle and effective for cleansing. It's good for people with oily skin, and it's also good for people who tend to be more dry and sensitive, but I think overall it favors a more oily to normal skin type. It's formulated with zinc gluconate, which is anti-inflammatory and can help kind of facilitate a little bit of skin cell turnover and encourage sloughing off of dead skin cells. But what I really like about it is that because it's a gel cleanser, it's less drying on the skin barrier in comparison to like a foaming cleanser. The second cleanser is the Xeracalm AP lipid replenishing cleansing oil. This product is really good if you have dry skin or mature skin or particularly sensitive skin. Maybe you're coping with a lot of irritation. It's an oil, but it's also got emulsifiers, polyethylene glycol. It works up into a creamy lather and then rinses off, but it's not stripping whatsoever. I do think if you wear a lot of heavy makeup that you're definitely going to need to use a dedicated makeup remover or cleansing balm beforehand, but this is actually pretty good at cleansing the skin in general. So if you don't wear much in the way of makeup, I think this is just fine. This is particularly good for very mature skin. It's super gentle. You know, as we get wiser, our skin doesn't make as many lipids, and we're more sensitive to the surfactants and cleansers that can strip away our lipid barrier. So this is a really good one for those folks in particular. So those are the cleansers, but I'll remind you guys, I have shared in another video some of the top cleansers from Avene. So this is an abbreviated list, my top of the top, but I'll list that video down below as well. Moving into the next category of products, moisturizers. Number 3 is the Cicalfate post-procedure emulsion. Love this moisturizer. It's really wonderful if you have oily skin, acne-prone skin, sensitive skin, or rosacea. It's not heavy, it's not greasy. This product is really good, you know, after a procedure where your skin is healing, but you can use it as an everyday moisturizer. And it's got an ingredient in it called Cicalfate, or it's called out in the ingredient list as aluminum sucrose octisulfate. This facilitates healing. It's actually used to treat ulcers in the gut, and when applied to the skin, it can promote wound healing. It has that ingredient, which is wonderful. It also has zinc sulfate, which is anti-inflammatory and very soothing. This particular moisturizer is also fantastic now that we're wearing masks and suffering a lot of irritation and maskne and skin problems related to having that mask on, where you've got moisture being trapped, you've got irritation from rubbing. You really need something that's going to facilitate repair and healing. This is a great moisturizer. Now the emulsion is really lightweight, and you know, people with oily skin like it. People who have rosacea tolerate it well, because sometimes heavy duty moisturizers can flare a bout of rosacea. But if you have really dry skin and you're looking for a richer cream, check out the Xeracalm AP lipid replenishing cream. I adore this product for dry, dermatitic, eczema prone skin. I mean, you can use it on the body, but like I said in other videos, body moisturizers, give them a try on your face, and this one works well. It's an airless pump. Da, 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 da. Fragrance free, of course, fantastic for people with eczema. This particular product has evening primrose oil in it, which is anti-inflammatory and has been shown to be helpful in the skin of people with eczema. It's a source of omega fatty acids. But this product also has an interesting ingredient, L-modulia. This L. modulia is derived from Aquaphilis dolmania. I'm butchering that. This is basically a bacteria that is in the spring water. Now I've got a video talking about the benefits of thermal spring water. It's rich in prebiotics and postbiotics that maybe can help in cultivating your skin microbiome. Now this particular bacteria is present in the thermal spring water and is thought to perhaps be a major component of the benefits that are observed when treating people with eczema with the thermal spring water in those centers in France, those treatment centers in France. Anyways, this particular bacteria, there's a compound called L. modulia, and this particular compound has been shown in lab studies, meaning like cells on a dish, not actual humans, but in lab studies it's been shown to influence the inflammatory mediator profile. But it does suggest that perhaps it's that active, it's perhaps the L. modulia is really what's maybe responsible. And so that's really interesting. This particular product has that in there, in addition to the thermal spring water, which all of their products have. The ingredient list overall is minimal, which I like and is wonderful for people who have irritation prone skin. So this is a really good moisturizer. And honestly, if you have oily skin, don't be afraid of putting something like this on your face either. You know, just try it out. At any rate, it's a fantastic body moisturizer. Then the third product in the moisturizing category is a lip balm, the Cicalfate lip balm. Now this I really like for acutely irritated lips where you've got a lot of cracking and fissuring. It really can facilitate healing. This is something you actually want to use at night, and I'll show you how it goes on and you'll understand why I'm saying that. It's got that Cicalfate in it, which as I said earlier, facilitates healing. So you can imagine how that's going to be helpful for healing the fissures of the lips and dry, irritated lips. And it's also got zinc in it, which is anti-inflammatory. But the reason I suggest using it at nighttime, first of all, we lose more water out of our skin, including the skin of our lips at night. And especially like as you're sleeping, your mouth is open. I mean, like you might be drooling. It's a setup for more irritation on your lips, even more so than throughout the day if you kind of think about it. Anyways, I'll show you how it goes on. It goes on kind of thick and white, and it's a little sticky. And so depending on your skin tone, you may find that this you don't care for the way that it looks. So you might want to just wear it at nighttime. I mean, you can use it during the day. There's no rule that you can't. I use it during the day, but I'm just saying that like it does leave kind of a cast and leave your lips white for a while, but it really keeps that seal on there for a long time. Even more so, in my personal experience using it, it seems like the seal is more withstanding than just petrolatum. I think it holds up better. This formula, I think, holds up better under exposure to water, either from saliva or, you guys know I'm always drinking beverages left and right, and this really holds up with all of that. I think it's really more resistant to wearing off in comparison to just using like Vaseline on your lips, which, you know, in my experience, while it's the best thing for reducing water loss out of the skin, it does, you know, it heats up with your body temperature and melts off. And you guys know, like I said, I'm always drinking beverages and whatnot. So it does wear off, and I do end up having to reapply like petrolatum a lot more frequently than this. It's not perfect. It's not like it's a permanent seal or a permanent band-aid. You do still need to reapply it, but you don't, I find that it holds up a lot longer than like petrolatum or of course any other lip balm. No fragrance in this or flavorants, which can aggravate the skin of the lips and cause even more cheilitis and dryness. Yeah, it's really good. Highly recommend it if you're looking for a healing lip balm. Because of the Cicalfate in this is going to facilitate healing of the lips in a more, you know, in a more unique way beyond just sealing and hydration. It has that healing property to it. So I would say if you've got cracked, uncomfortable, painful lips, you know the feeling. We've all been there before at some point in our life. This is something that you might want to use to treat that, to help improve that. But for just everyday lip balm use, I think this is kind of expensive, but it is a really good product. But to just use it every day, I think, you know, you might find that a bit too expensive. But I think it's good for these situations where you end up with really dry lips, which can happen if you are somebody who wears makeup and you use a lot of lipsticks and whatnot. At the end of the day, you take that off, and you know, you may find that those lipsticks, especially the matte lipsticks, were particularly drying and irritating, along with the lip liners. And this is the kind of thing that can really help your lips kind of recover from that. Moving on to sunscreen. You know, I'm kind of surprised. I always have recommended the very high protection sunscreen from Avene, but going on their site in preparation for this video, and this is no longer on their website. This is a mineral sunscreen that is pretty matte, I would say. I've always liked this, and I recommended it in my video on tinted sunscreens, and I went based on different skin tones. And this was so, you know, this was a lot, this particular tint is, you know, more helpful for people with at least medium to deep skin tones. You can see that right there. So they did away with that. Bummer, maybe they'll bring it back. The sunscreen they do still have, which I have actually always recommended, is their Mineral Tinted Compact. Now this is SPF 50. It is a tinted sunscreen in a compact. So you pat it on with a puff. I don't even know what that thing is called. Anyway, it's really good if you've got sensitive skin. It's not gonna burn or sting. The finish on this particular product is very matte, but I do find that a lot of people, especially people who wear makeup, appreciate that. And I have to say, the coverage on this is pretty good. And so much so that many people who wear makeup and are used to wearing foundation, they find that this gives more coverage than like a typical tinted sunscreen, and they might actually be okay with skipping their foundation in favor of just this. But at any rate, I do think it goes on well, at least underneath makeup, without any pilling or balling, because it does have that matte finish. But importantly, what I like most about this and why I've always recommended it is that we have now learned that iron oxides are really helpful in protecting against those pro-pigmenting wavelengths of visible light. But the Avene Tinted Compact has actually been what was used in a lot of the studies showing benefit with the iron oxides. So this is a good product. It comes in beige and honey, and I think honey is probably better for medium to deep skin tones. I really need them to come out with more shades though. I really need them to do that. So those of you who wear makeup and are, struggle with the issue about putting on sunscreen over makeup or whatnot, try this. It is quite good. It's not as good in my opinion as using a sunscreen, because you are still gonna get skip areas and areas that you're gonna miss with applying the compact on, but it definitely gives good coverage and good sun protection in the areas that you hit. And like I said, in those studies, looking at improvement of hyperpigmentation with iron oxides, some of them used this Avene Tinted Compact. So it is a good product. And it's good if you have sensitive skin and a lot of sunscreens burn or sting. This would be a fine option. I need them to bring this back though. This is what I use and like from them, their actual sunscreen. All right, moving on to kind of active ingredients. Product number 7 is the Akerat Smoothing Exfoliating Cream. This particular moisturizer has urea, salicylic acid, and lactic acid. So it's going to exfoliate, and it's particularly good if you have dry, dull skin with rough patches like keratosis pilaris. And it's also good if you have some areas either on the body or the face where you've got post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation and you're looking to accelerate the rate of clearance of that. This would be good. You can use this on the face, it's fine to do so, but because it has salicylic acid, lactic acid, and urea, it can be irritating and it can sting and burn. So you kind of have to figure out A, if you tolerate this okay without irritation, and B, the frequency with which you can tolerate using it without too much irritation. But it's ultimately a very good moisturizer for people who have dry, dull appearing skin that they're looking to kind of rejuvenate the appearance of. It's good for people who have a lot of photo aging that they're looking to improve. It's good for mature skin where you have a little bit of a delay in skin cell turnover due to age-related changes, and so you end up getting kind of dull appearing skin. This kind of can rejuvenate that look. But if you have super sensitive skin, this can cause a lot of burning and stinging. This product is also good though if you have acne prone skin, because the salicylic acid can help give a little bit of acne control. It's also very good for pores. And then the urea in this is going to soften dry patches as well, and it also facilitates natural moisturizing factor production and maintenance of the moisture barrier. Moving along to the next set of active ingredients, they're all the same. To me, Avene's strength has always been the fact that they have a line of retinaldehyde products. They actually have 2 lines of retinaldehyde. Now, retinaldehyde is a form of topical vitamin A that is effective for improving the look of wrinkles and fine lines. And unlike retinol, you guys remember, your skin has to do 2 things to it to get it to its active state. Retinaldehyde, your skin only has to do 1 thing to it. All right, the RetrinAL or RetrinAL, however you want to say it, the intensive cream. This has retinaldehyde, like I said, and it also has pro-elastin peptide, which basically can help boost up moisture and, in theory, maybe helps promote elasticity. But always be a little, suspicious of the claims of efficacy of peptides in skincare products. Most of them haven't been robustly substantiated, but they are good humectants. So basically this is moisturizing and it has a retinaldehyde. Now retinaldehyde is less irritating than like retinoic acid, aka tretinoin, but it is effective. You just have to use it consistently. Now Avene has the 0.1, which is what I have here, and then they have basically the same product at 0.05%. Don't fuss over the percentage strength. The 0.05 is probably a little less irritating than this, but this is so gentle. It's like splitting hairs, honestly, between the two. There isn't really a substantial difference in terms of the outcome between the different percentages. The main thing is that lower percentages are less irritating and take a little bit longer to start working. Higher percentages are more irritating and work more quickly. They're both very good and you'd be well served with either one. Now, product number 9 is in the RetrinAL series. It's their advanced wrinkle corrector. I've talked about this in other videos too. This is another good retinaldehyde product. And unlike the intensive cream, it does not have the pro-elastin peptide. Instead, it has brown algae, which will add hydration to the skin, and it also has hyaluronic acid. So both of these ingredients are humectants. They add a lot of hydration. I find because of that, with the advanced wrinkle corrector, you will see improvement in fine lines more quickly, like kind of almost right away. It really amps up the hydration to smooth out those, but it doesn't mean that the retinaldehyde is working faster. It's really just the effect of those humectants plumping up the skin cells. I find it's just a little bit more like wow factor in comparison to the intensive cream. And then the final product is probably gonna come as a shock to you guys. It's an eye cream.
What?
I know, what? Hear me out. It's the RetrinAL Eyes. Retinol or any form of topical vitamin A can be super irritating around the eyes. So if you want to use vitamin A around the eyes to improve the look of wrinkles and fine lines, I actually recommend using a dedicated eye cream with whatever form of vitamin A you want to go with. Now, I've recommended in other videos the Neutrogena retinol eye cream because Neutrogena's retinol is very good. But if you want to use retinaldehyde instead of retinol, because again, retinaldehyde, your skin only has to do 1 thing to it to get it to its active state as opposed to 2 with retinol, then I do recommend the Avene RetrinAL product for eyes. Like the advanced wrinkle corrector, this one's got the brown algae and it's got hyaluronic acid. So those 2 ingredients alone are going to kind of improve the look of fine wrinkles around the eyes just through hydration. This product also has dextran sulfate, a polysaccharide that also helps with hydration and imparting moisture retention. So it's a really good eye cream. I know, you guys, eye creams are not necessary, but if you do want to treat the eye area with a topical vitamin A, I do recommend using an eye cream that has that ingredient, just because it's formulated to be tolerated around the eyes. So those are my top 10 products from Avene. You know, they have a lot of great products. Yeah, Avene has a lot of products, but these are my top 10. I hope this video was helpful to you guys, and definitely check out my other videos in this series or my other video on Avene's best cleansers. If you want more cleanser recommendations, I will list those 2 down below. But if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.